look at us. We're here together once again after 7,000 years apart. How you doing, Del?
Yes, finally back in the same room together in one small studio, looking at each other directly in the eye, not at all on phone.
Not at all, not at all. If only we had a teleportation device. What's happened to Star Trek? Why aren't we there yet? It makes me sad.
I blame the liberal.
That's
I blame
smart.
the meet the press.
Very smart indeed. We are back here. It's been a while since we've done a pilot pass, but it is time for us to return. On our return episode, we will be talking about Russian Doll, the little show on the thing. I think they call it Netflix. Is that correct?
I've heard of it once or twice. I think it's how it's pronounced.
Excellent. Tell us a little bit about Russian Doll, Del.
Well, Russian Doll, to put it, let's just stick to the first episode. No spoilers for the rest, because I've watched the full season and you haven't, correct?
That is correct.
So, Russian Doll starts with a young woman who goes to a party, having a good time. She essentially, bare bones, she leaves the party, ends up getting herself killed. If I remember the first time, it's like she falls downstairs or something. Is that
I believe
right?
the car is the first time.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So she basically, the whole show starts with her in a bathroom. It's really good. This nice dark black tile bathroom.
Creepy.
And that's where the show starts. And of course, every time she dies, it reboots and she starts back in that same bathroom over and over again and leaves through the door, which has this weird like portal galaxy looking marking on it. Then she dies again and again and again. And it's a little bit like a Groundhog Day. And they established that really early on.
Yes, Groundhog Day is a very good comparison to this movie, this show. Let's call it a streaming show. It's a good comparison. There's a repeat day after day. Keep living the same day over and over again. Before we get too far away, though, please tell the people, what is that glowing thing on the back of the door?
You know, actually, I have not figured that out yet.
Oh, because it's in the first episode.
I just don't think that you...
It is a vagina. That's what the host says, right?
I didn't even dawn on me. It has a little bit importance later, but I don't think I still put that together.
Oh.
It makes sense.
Learning stuff as we go.
I thought more of it like it was a portal, like it was supposed to be like a cosmic portal before you realized it was a door. You know, you don't think of that the first time around, but the next couple of times you're like, oh, or at least that's what occurred to me. But yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it's Georgia O'Keeffe or something.
There you go. It's a 36-year-old birthday party for Natasha Lyonne's character. What's the character called? I've already forgot. Sorry.
And then,
what's her character's name?
I'm sorry, Sid? Oh, I couldn't possibly remember.
Oh, we're the worst.
I just went back and rewatched the pilot again last night. But I watched the show,
right,
a month or two ago. So you're gonna have to probably be refreshing me on some of the names.
Okay, so she's 36-year-old. Somebody else is throwing her birthday party for her. She does not seem to be so very thrilled about the party itself until she meets a man.
That's right. She tries to take him home.
In the very most awkward and uncomfortable way possible. I think also this is the point where we should talk about the character itself. I feel like that there may have been a little bit too much effort placed on trying to make her too manly. What do you think?
Yeah, I had that feel, but here's the thing is my girlfriend thought she liked the really strong character. And I've actually heard that from a couple of other females that have seen the show. They seem to really like it. I didn't find it nothing wrong with it, not distasteful, but it did feel like it was almost originally written for a guy, or they were like, oh, look, it's a Russian. She's got to be tough. She's got to be strong. But I definitely did get that sense that there was this heightened sense of masculinity or something to her character.
It seemed a little Bukowski-esque. At least that's how I felt. But of course, I always see things through the eyes of Bukowski.
That's
I was
right.
telling you
I think
before
everything you've ever seen.
Absolutely, and that's the way it should be. I read a little article today on vulture.com, in case you're wondering, not .net.com, and the writer...
the good one, okay.
Right, yes, exactly. The writer compared this a little bit to Donnie Darko. So there is some weirdness. Obviously, you don't want to do spoilers, but talk about the weirdness element that goes on as the episodes progress.
Without giving too much away,
yes,
I will say the ending of the first season is a total, what the living fuck did I just watch, and in what world or universe is this show taking place in? very much so different than, okay, it's a girl in the bathroom in the way the initial story starts, and very well like Donnie Darko. And I would argue the Matrix. The first part of the whole setup is this is a boring person who learns they have an extraordinary capability. With Donnie Darko, he learns that he can adjust time by knowing what the future is. And the Matrix, he learns that he can work within the coding since his world's artificial. And I think that was kind of cool because they also, she's a computer programmer in this. So I feel like they took a lot of influences from Groundhog Day, The Matrix, Donnie Darko, any kind of time traveling, back up on itself, matrices, make you question the universe you're in, the Invincibles, the Grant Morrison graphic novel. It felt like they intentionally pulled, because it's a character that was just like a few of the characters in the graphic novel. So I think they were like, let's do almost a homage show to these great, like, returning time travel, affecting, being inside the system and changing it movies. And that's really what it kind of ended up feeling like to me as it progressed.
The other thing that it relates...
So it has sci-fi, mysticism, and just pure oddity of the universe. I think it's a good blend.
Gotcha. The other thing that they talked about was the synth pop, amazing music of the show. A brooding character, not unlike Donnie Darko. Always listen to that Mad, Mad World song. And I think that had definitely a feel and a texture to it, so you could put yourself in that weird mind space while you're watching the show.
I agree with that. I think they go another way of the show to be, it's also comedic, though, in a way that a lot of those other dramas that maybe other than Groundhog Day aren't. There's definitely a lot of the, hey, I know this is going to happen again, so let's make joke or let's make light of it, in a way that Donnie Darko doesn't. This is definitely a funnier version, for sure.
I can concur with that. So let's go back to the beginning. Where did this all take place? We always like to talk about pilots of all kinds, shapes, and forms, where we learn about them, where we hear about them. So tell us, how did you first hear about Russian Doll?
Well, actually, it popped up in my Netflix queue as a recommended. I watched the trailer, and I was very much, no, thank you. This does not look like my type thing. Oddly enough, they just did a terrible job with the trailer. Kat and I started watching it. I was watching it in the background, and I got the premise. Okay, it repeats. The first episode, I get it. She's in Groundhog Day. But about episode 3 or 4, I was like, okay, this is going a direction I just didn't expect. But yeah, the Netflix thing initially was how I found out, and I passed on it, honestly.
And the heavy influences of the female creators that are involved in this show. I was about to tell you, as you were talking, who wrote this show. Leslie Headland and Jamie Babbitt, with help from other famous female people, right? Am I lying to you? Is Tina Fey involved in this at all?
I saw Amy Poehler once.
There you
I can't
go.
remember now if Amy Poehler worked the other lot, but that was one kind of thing that when I saw that, I went, okay, so for everything that she's had a hand in, I've been happy with. This seems like an odd drama, but clearly she's a comedic person who's taking interest in this. I love Parks and Rec. So that was one of the things that kind of swayed me over.
Yes.
Although, again, very different than a Parks and Rec type show. It's not a Michael Schur show.
Right, sure. She wrote all 16 episodes together with other people, so she was involved in the whole process. That's pretty cool. That's a good stamp of approval.
Know that. Wait, so Amy Poehler wrote every episode?
Along with Leslie and Natasha.
Okay. See, I didn't know that. Oddly enough, I love seeing the writer credits, and I guess these just kept going by me.
IMDb is a friend.
Okay.
See, we're learning all kinds of new things today.
So how did you learn about Russian Doll then?
You. I mean, I was aware of it before. I knew it was the thing that happened, but as you know, and unfortunately this is the case, if it's a majorly involved female type thing, I may frown upon that. Classic example, the Kimmy Schmidt show. Still never watched that. Still never will watch that.
You do not like that show. And
No.
I still think you would find it hilarious because whenever I quote the lines, you laugh. But you've tried and you definitely do not like that show.
It is just not for me. There's just a different cadence, a different whatever it is. I don't know. I felt more comfortable with this show. While I did talk earlier about the, trying to masculine up the main character a little bit, I think it worked. I think Natasha's a fantastic actress, that's for sure. It's difficult. It's been difficult for her as a leading lady because she's a very unique person. So how do you use her as a leading lady and trying to sell box office things? So I read some articles about her appreciation for this role because it was something that could work for her, and I think that she did a great job with it.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think probably a lot more females would like having a character that's probably kind of badass. I mean, everybody's favorite character is Vasquez is from Aliens.
Right.
The badass Marine. People love a badass chick. Terminator 2. And I think, female actors, whatever. The probably relish having a role like this. Not only the lead, but you're not relegated to looking for a man or trying to go after a man, which, in most female-driven movies are about finding yourself or your pants, or your friends or a man. It's like, no. This female is just going through this fucked up universe over and over and over again. And it could have been easily swapped with a male character, or it just didn't matter. So why not give, such a meaty kind of chewable role? If you don't get offered that, especially as a female very often, that's got to be a lot of fun to do professionally.
I can imagine. So, though, I will complain that she's taken away from jobs from people like me, white males. So.
Rich white. And recently I heard, didn't you purchase a small plot of land? So now you're not only a white man, you're a landowner. Landowning white man.
If only. Jeffrey Epstein still has this place for sale. I haven't been able to purchase it yet.
Isn't it funny that, 250 years ago, they would be like, you're basically immigrants, white guys who have been here forever. You own no land. That just feels weird to be like, wait, I couldn't vote back then too? I'm white. So how do you feel kind of about how the episode itself, wrapped up?
It definitely intrigued me. I thought that the falling off of the railing was a little odd. I don't know if that was just like a stunt situation that wasn't perfect. Or...
Every time that happened, I'm like, there was something weird about the way they shot it, or maybe the effects weren't right. But that scene looks weird to me. They do it 2 or 3 times throughout the series, and every time I'm always like, they could have done something different.
Is the cat real? You can't answer that question, but is the cat real?
Here's the thing, based on the actual ending, like I'm going to say the last scene of the first season, apparently it's been renewed. I don't know where they're going to go. Based on that, I would say, holy hell, who knows?
Interesting.
To tell you what universe they're in this story. That's what it starts so grounded, but it becomes so, I don't even want to say, I don't know what to give anything away. It's just not grounded by the end. And so I just don't know I don't know what any of it kind of means. It's kind of like when somebody's like, oh, it was a dream the whole time, the whole movie. You're like, all right, but then what are you going to do for season 2? Dream 1 meant nothing? I mean, they did it for Dallas.
Dream in a dream.
Negated it. So, but, and not to say that she's dreaming in this, because I'm not giving the ending away again, but it's just, where do you go from here? What is this? And so I'm intrigued to see season 2 for sure, just to see what in the hell's going on.
Unlike most of our pilots, this one won awards. They won Emmy for Outstanding Contemporary Costumes, Outstanding Cinematography, and Outstanding Production Design. Again, that's better than most of the pilots that we do, so give a clap to this one. Great choice.
One of the things I think is, we're calling this Pilot Pass, and this is one of the first ones we've done where it's not a TV show, it's a streaming, and so it was, the whole thing was released at once. So obviously it was produced, season 1 was produced as a whole, concept. So that's something a little different than I would say, like pilots we normally do, like All in the Family we did,
the
where
Monsters.
They're shooting one 22-minute thing to even see if it works, and on episode 2, things are drastically different already. So that is one thing when with a vision, Amy Poehler's walking in there and she's like, look, me and the gals, we know what we're doing. This is what we want. It does make the first episode, I think, easier because it's more cohesive automatically just by the format,
Okay, so you're going to ding it points for that. Okay, so that's where we're going to start with our points, is they get a little bit less because they didn't just do one. Let's see. Let's compare
I think you have to kind of – well, here's the thing is, I mean, they could have shot a pilot. We just haven't seen it. Normally they roll the pilot, obviously, into what's normally the first episode, but sometimes in classic shows, the second or third episode was technically the pilot. It just gets shoved further back. Or sometimes, they'll shoot a tester. So they made a shot of this 10-minute version of this, to get it. I'd like to see that if they did. But that's why I don't know if it's exactly a pilot so much as episode 1 of a whole thing. So, yeah, I definitely think you don't get quite as much credit as the people that went and created one completely unique thing.
No matter how bad that one thing was, not unlike Desmond
There's been plenty
Pfeiffer.
of bad ones. I was literally showing that to somebody like 3 days ago, and I was like, "Let me show you this joke on Clerks, the animated show." And they were like, "What a silly TV show that they're watching in show." And I said, "No, great. I'm glad you feel that way. Let me show you something on YouTube." And we watched the whole first episode of The Secret Diary of Desmond Pfeiffer. It still blows my mind that was made. People said yes to that over and over again at different levels, and I love that show.
It got approved. I'll never get that at all. Never, ever, ever. Okay, so it's kind of a pilot, not even necessarily a pilot, but trust me, we've got some that are questionable as well. I can't wait till we talk about some good stuff like 911. Huh? Are you familiar with this wonderful show?
No, what is it about the 911 or is it about the emergency number?
Oh, it is about the emergency number. It is on Fox.
Oh.
And last season, it ended with a tidal wave that took out everybody on the beach.
All right, I'm in already. I got to know what this is then.
Any final words on Russian Doll?
No, I would say, I'm curious to know whether you base, and I think this is always the, pass or fail of the pilot pass, whether we would recommend it or whether I would recommend it based on the pilot. I don't think I would have had I only seen the I would have just assumed it would continue more of the same and it wouldn't be this growing story. So I will say, based on the pilot, I would have not kept watching if my girlfriend wasn't. Now, having seen 3 or 4 episodes in, yes, I'm big see the second episode, the second season. How about you?
Interesting. I'm going the other way. I would recommend it as a pilot, though I may not watch the rest of the episodes.
I would encourage this. Skip to the if that's going to be the person. If you're going to be the type of person who wants to just skip through it, and honestly, with this kind of show, I think it's fine if you get the whole premise you got. I say watch the pilot. Go a couple in. There's an episode where they found out, and this is a spoiler, but maybe this will encourage some people. Another character has the ability to reset time, and they run into each other. And that episode is interesting, and I think you can probably figure it out from the show notes in Netflix. And then I would skip to the finale and just watch the finale. And there you go, 3 episodes, and I think it pretty much got the entire gist of season 1.
3 out of 16. That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
So we got a tentative pass and a tentative watch. So look at us being firm in our standings.
Yeah, so I think that's a solid watch it. At least watch the pilot from both of us.
There you go. All right, so we got a bunch more of these coming. I've got 1,000 different ideas of terrible, terrible, terrible pilots that we're going to watch and talk about.
Great, terrible pilots recently. For instance, I didn't know that Ferris Bueller's Day Off was made into a TV show. I know there was one called Parker Lewis Can't Lose. I was unaware of the Ferris Bueller one that starts with apparently the new actor cutting a stand-up of Matthew Broderick in half with a chainsaw. So it's only going to go up from there.
I can't believe you missed that. That's good TV right there.
Somehow I just don't remember that was a thing. And, of course, because I'm a Beatles nerd, at some point we're going to talk about, the new pilot for the new relaunch. But what are you excited? What are some episodes you're excited to do?
I look forward to talking about Fleabag with you. I believe that show, especially the pilot. Fleabag is the one with the lady with 3 names, and she talks to the camera, and she has a very, shall we say, messed up family, and she owns a cafe, and it's so good. It just won on the awards.
Okay, well, and Fleabag?
Yep, Phoebe Cates, or
right.
Not Phoebe Cates, Phoebe
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Weller. Yes. Anyway, Phoebe is her first name.
Mark David Chapman. I'm sure that's who you.
Fleabag was great. I just watched a British show called Top Boy. I'm going to recommend to you as well.
Interesting. And then I'd be interested to talk about the new superhero show, The Boys, just because Marvel's wrapped up. Their big phase now before we roll into phase 4. They're trying a new concept on maybe a new take on superheroes on Amazon. I don't know. Maybe it's working. Maybe it's not. Haven't decided yet.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Something to look forward to. Okay. Yep. I think that we cleared that up. Russian Doll. That's what we got for you.
So have we fulfilled our obligation for creating enough content for our thousands and thousands of fans to appease the advertisers at this point?
They never have enough.
So we'll be doing this again in a week or so, huh?
We will indeed.
Well, like I said, podcasting is the worst job ever. It's terrible. It's too restrictive, and it allows me no freedom in my life. So, here we go again.